How's it, YouTube? I'd like to give my thoughts on POE 2 endgame. I have now probably played over 300 hours. I've got two characters. I predominantly play Deadeye Lightning Arrow. And I probably spent 80% of my time in endgame. The game is great, by the way, for early access. But there are some issues that I would like to highlight, and I think can be changed quite easily. Is for me, there's too much friction at the end game. If I have to compare it to PA1, you get into a certain flow state in PA1 with mapping. Let's say you set up 100 jungle valleys for the day, do whatever farm you want to do, whether it's Delirium, whether it's Harbinger, whatever you actually want to farm for the day, you can set it up and you can just farm for 12 hours and you have a good time doing that. In PoE2, for me, it's slightly different. There's a lot of friction and a lot of stop-start that happens. And that's due to the way that the Atlas is functioning. I think it's a good idea what they did. I do believe though that they need to cut down on some of the things like the towers. You shouldn't have to do a tower map. I mean, after you've done about 50 of them, you don't want to do any more. The concept is cool, where you can stack the towers, stack some stuff on it. So, for instance, stacking rarity or stacking rarity or quantity on your map is a good idea. I think it works nicely. The other problem that I have with it is you're kind of forced to run maps that you don't want to run. That's not great. It like, again, that takes away from the flow state. It's like you're not happy doing it, and it's like feels like starting. They're having to set up a whole area every now and then, just to farm what you want to farm. So for me, there's a lot of friction that's unnecessary. It doesn't need to be there. We need to have a way that we can run the same map, or maybe have a whole area with the same map. That could also be good. Just have less friction. Some of the mechanics, I believe, is really well done. The breach is very well done. It's also easy to get into. To farm 300 sprinters isn't that difficult. It doesn't take too long. But then some of the other mechanics is quite difficult to actually get into and actually spec into them. Like Delirium, to get 300 sprinters it's not the easiest thing in the world. It takes a while. And then the same thing with Expedition. To get a boss took me, I don't know, probably 20 maps. I think some other people will just simply give up to spec into Expedition. So I do think the entry level for those mechanics is a bit too high. I've seen a lot of people complain about the citadels and not finding them. I found plenty. I haven't had the problem. I'm not sure if I'm doing anything different than other people. I do believe, though, just to have one attempt at a boss is a bit tough, especially for new players. They might just quit there and not attempt again if it took them a long time to find the citadels. Like I said, for me, I didn't really have this problem, and I found plenty, and I've had multiple attempts to it. So it's not a big issue for me, but I've heard other people complain about it. Delirium in the map. I don't understand why the mirror needs to push you back when you're playing it. It doesn't. I mean, the first time it happens, it's like, okay, that's a bit weird. But then to have it in the map the whole time, I'm literally just skipping Delirium because of that. It actually irritates me. Things like that should just be removed. Strong boxes, I just walk past the strong box. It's not rewarding at all. and to sit and wait for the monsters to come out takes too long. It just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel good. And then, like I said, Breach feels really good. It's in a good space. The logbooks, yeah, logbooks. They again, it seems like the currency you get from that, the rewards you get from that, is it's doesn't line up with the rest of the game. I don't know if it's because GG changed the drop rate of currency, and that hasn't quite lined up, so that needs a buff, in my opinion. It just feels bad in logbooks. It's not rewarding at all. Yeah, so that's all the friction that I would say that needs to be removed and looked at. The rest of the game is great. I'm continuing to play. I'm having fun. I'm sure I'll play some other characters, do some other builds, and I'm looking forward to probably a lot of nerfs that's going to happen. Our character power is way too high at the moment on certain builds. I did enjoy the campaign. The pacing of the campaign for me was enjoyable with the new bosses and stuff. It was really well done. Yeah, I think overall the game is great, and I'm sure GGG will make the necessary changes to make the game even better. Those are my thoughts. Thanks, guys. Cheers.